26 October 2022, Rio de Janeiro City, Private Living, Rio de Janeiro Federative Unit, Brazil. Brazil, you are in deep shit, Brazil, all by your choice, flowing by chairs, corrupted DEBTORs, unable to be accord with the law. Brazil, you will have it to pay with your peers by solidarity this bill. Brazil, Brazil. Moving forward, last thing we had the observation by failures observed the regression in order to obtain the density need. The mandatory need is not have things spread anymore, but have things focused in the way things are required to be made. We have limited resources. We must have rationality at the application of those resources. We could observe that this model going from global companies, if for instance it's an American global company on Asia, it's an American global company doing business on Asia. If you'd like to have, the behavior against this American global company, in a very specific moment, this global company will not get along with the constitution source. The diversity is something that will not exist. The American global company doing business in another area as an American global company, respecting the traditions as American traditions, the American Constitution, and the statement of this company. If do not go like this global company, for instance, the IBM, is supporting the cultural destruction of the United States. And we must reduce the size of this company, influence, association, and participation. A lot of things not required or needed anymore, you can dump. So, we will observe that this model is cross-cut, setting the free zone area, and the free zone operating in two different areas indeed, but the common element of two both together. It's like the American grid. If we have business made on different area by the purpose that's not something legal, indeed it's not business, but criminal activity covered by business. And these two areas are offering you. Simple to get. If you are at the public department, you committed corruption for sure and organized crime always. If it goes at the international financial system, unfortunately, transnational organized crime because it's an international system. We observe the relation between Republican and Democrat since 1920 had failure. The failure must be offered by the chairs receiving this complaint, for instance, by free will about the risks at the Western democratic system, considering the corruption not properly fought since 1920, crossed with the interval, having the clusterization of all members at the transnational organized crime by global events in Brazil at the public budget, which is the instrument of control used for criminal advantage, setting the perception as cretinismus Brasilis, a mental illness very serious for sure. Then we will check that this cross-cut indeed helped to get the relation Brazil-America inside the security for third interest Europe, not related with Brazil-America or third interest. Europe is not on Western, it's on Asia. From Asia, you can get failures all around, consider Africa, others, and by this, having in mind that not all countries have a public constitution, but all countries, even that one not declared like the transnational organized crime, the immigrants, and the constitutional committee have for sure some kind of budget. They must have transference of resources. This only go by budget. But you have clandestine ways. In the same way, you have clandestine use of state power. Treason made by the judicial power, treason made against the treasury of your nation, in the same way the wealth, the saving account of your company, by chairs. Chairs failored inside the square integration of failures, as chairs setting the concurrent association by chairs. Logical gap, since the origin, like the corruption to get the chair, the nepotism to set the workflow based on corruption. You have violation of premise at law, premise at constitution, your work have no conformance with nothing. You are a fraud. Simple. Bold. You own. The conspiracy crimes goes by the violation of constitution at first. If these do not annoy you, you have the conspiracy. And probably you have the change of your geographic space, the company will not respect the statement, the constitution, by diversity. All failored, all equally failored. So, and then you will deny this by fake records, obstruction of justice, and there's a fifth and more big rat, of course, that you will consider turn everybody in to escape yourself and protect your scam. But sometimes when you do this, you create much more problem for you and your peers. This relation as logical gap by fake records that carrying the idea as obstruction of just goals at the relation debit and credit, supply and demand, investment, saving, and liquidity money curve. The problem only will got increased. If you got this at the economic, since the relation debit and credit as your personal account, when you are unable to have or allow the tax examination or have the open data to the judicial power in charge to observe who you are, a rat or a filthy animal as a criminal occupying a chair, you, of course, that you observe that you will have a market of this, a supply and demand, by clandestine records covering the operations paid. But it's a business, cover the illicit activity on business. Curious thing, the investment saving curve and the liquidity money curve will present this the same way. Your economic plan is a fraud, your conjuncture is a big crap, indeed it's a criminal conjuncture. You are unable to present your reasons by law because your entire workflow is outlawed, since from the very first day as corruption. If the workflow, for instance, is the democratic process, which is not the democratic system, British, UK, United Kingdom has a king, and they use the democratic process, but it's not a democratic system. They have a king. So, we will observe that the idea is quite simple. If the electoral process has failures, and failures in Brazil since 1988 at least, America at least since 1920, by public chairs, new model oriented program by value negative one to check the conformance if it is a corrupt chair at the institution or an infiltrated agent at the criminal organization, or the criminal as corrupted chair at the institution, or criminal that is a real criminal doing a plea bargain. And then you have the taxonomy of this, the distribution of values, and the redistribution inside the boat street. At least one bombed 2022 this year, maybe the next 2 months will happen this, and 2 more 2024, 2028. At least one will be bombed by crimes against mankind, humanity crimes, warfare, weapons of mass destruction, and all others that you commit, perpetrated by misuse of state power. If the conspiracy crime do not annoy you, annoy me, and the entire Western society, because indeed we unfortunately are having to pay something very expensive by your mistakes. And the mistakes made by you violate basic rights and guarantees. And sometimes we're doing the development of things, the research, and a lot of things, you violated this, you violate the interest on it. Third interest related with. Under the judicial review, same situation applied at me, which implies the open data at those interests. And the judicial system, after having the homeostasis at the review at this system, will be very sure about things and with total legitimacy to declare the committee as the creditors able to receive the money charged. 37 trillion, considering 4 trillion as review, collinear, limit 33, but having the duplicity at 4 trillion, because they must have the idea of thing, and 4 trillion was suggested as financial penalty against the hoax and the dishonest behavior made by you, my dear criminal offender, at the debtor system, operated as a criminal system which got unveiled as a deeper level as core activity at the organized crime by institution. Going in the international area, even to avoid discharge, it's the international financial system, rat. Filthy animal, you got this. So you got that you are inside the transnational organized crime by your activity. See, it's not the mafia, it's the transnational organized crime. It's the mistake by a failure chair at the institution as corruption, which is organogram. If it's illegal, it's organized crime. Acting inside the international financial system, transnational organized crime, you belong to the boat. 2022, 2024, 2028, at least one bomb bag. The idea is quite simple. American greed project offered, project delivered the hopes that you would like to make yesterday, which was my birthday, or today. Flunked one more time, you are worthless as an offender inside a debtor system, acting as a criminal system by the misuse of institutional prerogatives, chairs, and state power, treason, the judicial power, to observe and protect the Constitution. If you didn't do this, for instance, America, I did. Brazil, I did. I believe in the constitutionalism. I believe that the Constitution is to avoid the misuse of state power. And if you do not have the destitution of variables and dependence, which applies the collinearity with a lot of things, unfortunately, you probably have no legitimacy to do nothing, including present or be able at this trial in the same station as I put myself. Total open data to the judicial power. Do I have anything to hide? No, I'm not the criminal. I'm the victim and I'm charging you, criminal offenders. Solidarity. See? All models offered, we are working with the remote follow-up and all by law. Have a great night.